Alright, so now we will see how to install Supercheck locally. So if you come to GitHub repo, there is a quick start section, and you can see there are only 4 steps, actually 3, which we need to follow. So first thing is you need Docker Desktop or an alternative. Uh, I'll stick to Docker Desktop. So use Docker Desktop. I already have it installed. So I have just opened Docker Desktop, and we will try to just follow those steps. So if you open Docker Desktop, this is how it will look. You don't have any container running here. There is no image. This is a fresh copy. I do have some volume, so let me delete it because I want to show you how it looks when you will see it. So yeah, this is as good as fresh now. So now there is a terminal inbuilt in Docker Desktop, so I will use that. Feel free to use any other terminal. Now let me go to quick start. So first step is to clone the repo, so let's do that. Alright, so first step is done, repo is cloned, sorry. And then second step is just to do a Docker compose up, that's it. And we will see that now it will, as soon as I do that, it will start downloading these images which are required to make Supercheck work. And then once images are downloaded, it will start those containers, and then we will be able to see the application. So let's do that. Now depending on your bandwidth, this might take some time, so we will let it run for a few seconds. You can see this is pulling all our Docker images, and then it will start those containers. So let's see in images. All right, you can see it has pulled these images. Now it's pulling app and worker image for Supercheck. Again, these images are coming from here, if you see the package. So now it's downloading this from GitHub container registry. Alright, so it's downloading worker. Now the size is more for the worker, you can see. Again, Playwright downloads all browser binaries in Docker container, so that's why the size is more. Now it's starting those containers, so it has downloaded all the images. You can see the size of images. The worker is slightly more, like I said. It has Chromium, WebKit, and what does Firefox use? Yeah, the engine for Firefox is also there. I think they use SpiderMonkey or something. Yeah, so that's also there. So now you can see this is the compose. These are all the Docker images. You can see there is one instance of app. There are 4 instances of worker. They are running, and then you can open this to see the app. Now app is there. I'll quickly sign up. So I'll use super admin account, and this has to be a specific account which you have configured in the app and in the environment variable. Alright, so yeah, this is the password I want to use. So just remember this email. I'll show you where this is configured. So super.admin@example.com. Let's create account. Alright, so this is a super admin account now. You can see, where does it, yeah, it says owner, yeah, that's fine. So this is a super admin. What super admin gives you is a option to impersonate user. There is only one user here, so you can't see it, but if there are more users, you can impersonate them. Again, I'll have a separate session for role-based access control, but here I just wanted to show how to install the app. So that's it. Let me try running a test. So we'll just run this browser test. Let's run this. All right, so test has passed. Like before, you have your video, your screenshot, your traces, everything works. Everything will work. Yeah, you can run your monitor. That's it, you have app running on localhost. Now let's see some of the environment variable which we can change. So there is a running capacity, I told you we can change it. So let's change this, and there are a few more things which will change. So what I'll do is, let me open this in VS Code, this GitHub repo, and then I'll show you. So let's open this one, Docker Compose, which we are running. So this is the compose file. There are some environment variables. Again, you can change all this password, but I'll tell you the ones which are important, which you will need. So this is the max channel. So each job or monitor can have number of channels. So this limits gives you the number of channels which notification channel which job or monitor can have. So currently it's 10. So if you have it 2, then there will be only 2 channels per job notification channel. So either Slack, Discord. If you try to add a third one, then it will not allow you. So these are configurable. Recent monitor limit is for the recent checks. This is the 10,000. So it gives you 10,000 recent checks can be done. Let me also show you quickly what I mean. So let me create a quick monitor. Say it's website monitor. Give it some fake data. Is it playwright? Let's check this URL. Let's see, this should be up. Let's see SSL. Check frequency 1 minute. I don't need auth. Let's create it. I don't need alert. It's fine. So now this is done. Alright, so why did it fail? Oh, I know. So there is an issue that I'm unable to reach this. It's not a good example from this network where I am. There is some issue with it. So I can take another example, but let's take another example. Playwright.dev. So the failure is a network issue. I know that. So just ignore that. We'll take another example. All right. So okay. So this is playwright.dev. There's no network issue with this website, and it's working fine. So this is the limit which I am talking about. It says 1 recent check. So if you have that limit as 10,000, this will it will show you 10,000 recent checks, and then you can filter them. So that's that limit. Let me also, you can run the Chrome or other browser in headed mode. So currently by default it is headless is true. So you don't see when the browser instance is started. So that is how it should be, because it impacts our performance. So you do not want to start browser in headed mode. But if you just want to see how, for some reason, if you are doing some local testing, you also want to see browser instances spawning up. So you can change this. Again, these are retries. You can change it. There is currently only 1 retry. Whenever there is a failure, it will do a retry one time. So you can change it to 2. Trace on, screenshot on, video on. These are self-explanatory. Change them. Which one do you want to see? Let's see WebKit. So let's only change WebKit. So now Chromium is by default. Chromium always runs. Now if I change it to true, now the test will run twice. One on Chromium, other one is on WebKit, which is Safari's browser engine. So this will now run a Safari browser plus Chromium, which is Chrome's or Edge browser engine. So, and then this, what it does is this one, if you run a test, I'll show you. So when you run a test, you will see a report here, but this gets lost. So if I run it again, this one will get lost. Every report has a UUID, every test, and somewhere on the S3 bucket this is saved. Now if I run it again, the earlier report will get lost and new one will be there. Now this playground is just for you to try running the test, work on your script, keep running again and again until issues are fixed or you are happy with it, and then you can save it. So that's the only purpose of this. So we do not want to persist this report. So, and because we will be running it multiple times, we will see multiple reports here. So what this does is it runs a batch job in background, which runs here every 12 hours, and for the report which is more than 24 hours, it cleans it. So you don't need to change this, just keep it default. Now this is a super admin email. I told you this is a comma separated list, so you can have number of emails, and then if you sign up with this email, that user will get super admin access and things like impersonation and all. That user will be able to do that. So this is the only way in the app you can have a super admin access. So change environment variable, restart your app, and then sign up with that, and then that user will have super admin access. Max project per org, again this is configurable. So what it does is whenever a user signs up, they get a default organization, and this tells you that in each organization there could be only 10 projects. So if you try to add 11th project, then it will throw you some error. So again this is configurable. You can change it to 1000, 10,000. It's up to you. This is the name of default project. So whenever a user signs up, app creates a default organization and a default project. So that default project is called default project. If you want to call it let's say test project. So now whenever user signs up, a new test project will be created and it will be assigned to them. Again, admin and super admin can change the project names, add and delete them, but this will add a default name on sign up for new user. This is the SMTP provider, so just use whichever SMTP you want to use. There's some example here, and then you will need a password for them, and then your email notification will work for sending a new email to invite someone, or sending a notification for your job and monitor failures, recovery, etc. I think these are the only environment variables. So we change few things. I am going to restart the app and we'll see if they take into effect. Apart from that, you can, depending on your on hardware where you are running this, you can change the number of instances. So for the worker instance, you can see there are currently 4 replicas. Now, so this is depending on your system, you can change it to 10 if your system supports it. Again, there is a CPU limit and memory limit for each instance. If you have that kind of hardware, you can change it. I'll keep it 4 here, and we can actually see in Docker also there are 4 worker instances. So the app has a distributed architecture. So your app takes anything which is compute heavy is done in worker. So all your playwright execution, your monitor execution, even email sending and all that notification, that all happens in worker. So as long as one worker is free, it will take the load from the queue, it will execute it and report it back to app. So that's what you do. Again, you can change it here, and again, if you want, you can play around with CPU and memory limit, but I think this is optimal. I think that's it. The other things are for other Docker images. You don't need to change them. So now let's bring our service down and restart it for the new environment variable to take effect. So there's a command here, you can copy paste it. Now go to Docker Compose, I'll just paste it. It will bring the containers down. So let's see container. Now currently all of them are running. As soon as I press Docker Compose down, you will see all of them will start going down by one. Alright, so it's stopping the container. Let's give it some time. And here you see all the containers are stopping now. Alright, one more container to stop. Alright, so all containers are stopped now. What we can do, we already have changed. Let me just make sure it's saved. So we have changed the environment variables. If I copy paste this again, Docker Compose up in detach mode, all app will come back again with the new configuration. So now what you will see, this will not take much time because we already have images downloaded. This happens only once. As long as we are using the same versions of those images, it will not download them again. So hopefully this will come back much sooner. So let's go to container, submit this, and you can see it just started it. It just starting it. It did not download it. So let's give it some time. Alright, so all the services are started. I'll go to 300 port again, and you can see app is up, and there is one monitor which is failing, which we know why it's failing. So now let's submit the same test again, and hopefully this should run this in headed mode. So you will see browser starting, Chromium, and I think we selected Safari, and yeah, other changes what we did should be there. So let's run this. All right, so it failed. Why did it fail? All right, so there is some issue with running it in headed mode in Mac OS. I mean, it works fine on Linux. So that's the issue. I have not tried it on Mac OS, but it works fine on Linux. I mean, it works on Headsno server. So let me change it, and then make it headed true. Stop it again, and then we'll restart the app again. Hopefully that should work. So now all the containers are stopped. Now let me start them again. Same command, Docker Compose up in detach mode. Now you will see all the containers have started again. Just give it few more seconds. Okay, so everything has started. Let's go to the port again. We'll try the same thing again, same test. Just run it. Hopefully this should run, because we are running it in headless mode now. So now it's taking a little bit more time because now we are running on Safari and Chromium both. So you will see test will run twice, once on Chromium browser, another one on Safari WebKit. Alright, so yeah, it worked fine in headless mode. So you see there were 3 tests. Now you see 6 entries. one set on Chromium, other one on WebKit, which is Safari. So everything else is same. We have already seen it, so I'll not go through that again. So that's it. Now you can change. I mean, I did not change the running capacity, but currently there are 6. Let me show you that. So where is the running capacity? Yeah, so here it is in app configuration. So you can change this to, let's say, 10, then you will have 10 concurrent jobs being run. Again, just make sure you have hardware which will be able to support it, otherwise your test will start failing. So depending on, so now it says 4 workers running on a 4-core CPU. This works. If you have a 8-core CPU, maybe change it to more, and then accordingly you change your worker setting. So you'll have to play around with these settings and then come up with what works best for your system, and then you change it. The other thing here, you will see the timeout. So by default there is a 2-minute timeout for test execution from the playground and 15 minutes timeout for job execution. So any job which takes more than 15 minutes, it will time out. You can change it. This is in milliseconds, or you can leave them as default. Alright, so we saw how to install Supercheck locally on the local host. I'll quickly show you this Docker Compose Secure, why it is there and when you need it. So if you open this, you don't have to use it, but it's there. I'll just show you why do you need it. So the only additional service you will see here is traffic, which is acting as reverse proxy. It gives you HTTPS. So if you want to deploy this on let's say on server and have a domain, let's say your app.com or whatever domain you get, and you want to have your app there, you can use this. So the only thing which you will have to change is change your domain. So get a domain from a domain provider, Cloudflare, there are so many. Get a domain and change this domain here. So you see example.com, change whatever domain you get. Let's say you get yourdomain.com, just change all this in this, and that's the only change you will need. And the other thing which you will need to change for email to work is your SMTP password. So from the email provider, change this password, SMTP password, whichever SMTP provider you use, create an account with them, get their API key or SMTP password, and yeah, just change this. That's the only thing you will need to change. Once that is done, you can just follow the same process: Docker Compose up, Docker Compose Secure up, and then it will, instead of using Docker Compose YAML file, it will use this YAML file and it will do that. The other change which you will do on your domain provider side is, I'll quickly show you. I'm using Cloudflare, so I have a domain from there. I have a Supercheck.io which is running on Cloudflare pages. So I have purchased a domain from Cloudflare, and you see Cloudflare has automatically added this worker Supercheck.io. They did automatic entry here. The 3 entry in between are added by the email provider which I am using. So that's called resend. What they do is they automatically add it. So all you need to do is sign in with your domain provider, and they will add these domain which will be required for sending email. So they just want to verify if it is the same API, your API key is connected to the domain from which you want to send email. So they just do that verification. So follow the process. Again, other provider will have something similar, and then they will add these 3. And yeah, this is my IP address of Hajner server where I'm running Docker Compose demo.supercheck.io. So you will have to add a record, give it a name, whatever you want. I'm using demo, so that will be demo.supercheck.io, and then just give it IP address. Yeah, you just add a new record with these details, and that's it. After that, let me go to, I'm using I have Hajner server connected. I'm using this service called Docploy. I'm using a paid service. They charge very minimum amount, but what they give you is you can connect your server. In this case, there is a Hetzner server. I'll show you which server I'm using. So this is the server I'm using. It's a 4-core, 8 GB server. You can see, I mean, its disk is about to get full. But this is what I'm using for running demo.supercheck.io. So this cost me, I don't know, $7-8, and they give you 4-core servers with 8 GB of RAM, which is more than enough to run demo. Okay, so if you come here, create a service. I'll not go in detail. Just read their docs. Create a Docker Compose service. They let you connect all your repository in case you want to connect from GitHub. I am just using Docker Compose. So just copy paste. Once you have done the changes here, change your domain, and if you wanted to change any other config, do that. Copy paste this. Change the SMTP password. Paste it here. Here you can see my domain is, I've changed it to demo.supercheck.io everywhere where I have to. That's it. Now you just deploy it. It takes few seconds. So just like we saw it locally, and now it's pulling those images. I already have those images on the server, so it's not downloading them again, but it's starting those containers. So it's just like running it on Docker Compose, Docker desktop locally. Now it's running it in this app. Now it says Docker Compose deployed. So hopefully app should be up. They also give you some options like monitoring. You can check the logs. I find this monitoring helpful, where you can see, just like and locally we saw in Docker desktop, I have 4 instances of worker, 1 instance of app. The new service is traffic, reverse proxy. That's the only new one here. Redis, main.io, and Postgres. So total 9 containers. So if I want to check worker 2, I can check the CPU usage, memory usage, network, block.io. So this is something I did a compute heavy task here. So you can see CPU usage was more. So that's it. Now if I go to demo.supercheck.io, this should be up, which is so here I am impersonating this user. We already saw this in previous sessions that we ran this job. So let me stop impersonating and show you how to impersonate it. So I am used as I have logged in as a super user here, super admin. So if you go to super admin, click on users tab, search for the user you want. So in my case, this is a user, this is an organization owner role, it's active user. I will just click on this action, and I can ban this user or impersonate, because I am super admin, sorry. So let's impersonate. It tells me I am impersonating this user to test their permission. The user is member of one organization. In case they are member of multiple organization, it will show it here. I'll just impersonate the user. Now I am impersonated. I've impersonated this user. You can see it here. This user is also org owner. So instead of super admin, now I see organization admin for this user, which gives you different option. I don't have option to impersonate here. So, but I think we already saw this. I can audit. I have audit. I can invite members. I can add or remove projects. So I also see this option here for impersonating. If I stop this, then it will go back to super admin access. All right. So let me quickly show you how to run the job. So what I've done is, I just wanted to put some more load on the server. So I have these 5 tests. 2 of them are browser. There are some tags, API, there's a database test and custom test. So I'll just run this and we'll see how, if I can, how much memory does or CPU does worker consume. So this is running. Hopefully, see worker 1. Again, it doesn't consume much CPU. So app is efficient. So unless you're doing anything very compute heavy, again, memory and CPU usage will be minimum. So yeah, I don't see much CPU usage even for memory for normal operations. So let's see if job is completed. It's still running. All right, it's completed. We didn't see any spike, but you see there are 5 tests which are executed. When I say test, these are test specs files. So this is one which has 3 tests, but this is one spec file which has 3 tests. So there are 5 spec files. Again, this we have already seen. Let's see this one. What does this do? So this is a custom test which goes to this API from GitHub. It checks for this user, it's Linus Torvalds GitHub profile. It gets the details. It goes to the UI and checks whether detail is correct. So it performs 2 operations, one at API layer and then it validates at the UI layer. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show you. Now this app is running on your domain. So if you want to deploy, you can follow the steps. Thank you.